Miami mercenaries, really that's the double M. Born baller, baby boy, I be above the rim.
What's good, family? It's your boy Just Blaze, host of the best NBA pod in the game, Above the Rim. Keep it locked each week and join myself and a special guest as we tackle the latest rumblings in the league. If it's happening in the NBA, you know I got you covered. Make sure you subscribe on all platforms and leave that 5-star review. Let's get it.
Here in LaVar, you already got the Lakers hat.
I'm trying to tell you, I knew this was happening before it was happening.
When did you get this hat made?
When he was a baby, but I already knew what was coming to him. I got 2 more boys. I got to come do the same thing 2 more years. Come see me when he does. I'll have another hat on to say, I told you so.
Did you think that the president helped the boys get out?
That's because you have to listen very slowly, carefully.
I'm trying.
Did he help the boys get out? I don't know. I'm asking you, did he do it? Thank the doctor. Did you thank the doctor for bringing you into this world? Well, you better go back and find him because you lucky. Yeah, look at it. Listen. See, that's what I'm talking about. You need somebody like me to loosen you up a little bit. You wound up tight. Come on now, you give me some love.
Talk about it.
You are now tuned in to Above the Rim.
Family, welcome back to another edition of Above the Rim. Brought to you, as always, it's your host, Justin, a.k.a. Just Blaze. Family, you know the drill. To get in contact with me, you can always hit me up. Follow me on Twitter, at JustBlaze_513. On IG, at JustBlaze513. And on Facebook, search Above the Rim Podcast. Email the show as well. Above the Rim NBA Podcast at gmail.com. Tap in and leave a voicemail as well. 908-718-1592. Family. Send me that feedback, your wild NBA takes, your predictions, all that good stuff. Send me that hate mail. And family, joining me this week, live in the lab, across from me. I've known this man for about over 15 years now, I would say.
Damn,
since junior high school playing ball. One of the dopest artists out here right now out of BK. First time on Above the Rim. My dog, Rel, better known for the streets as Brooklish.
Yes,
What's
sir.
good, my brother? How you looking?
What's good, bro? It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me, bro. It's lavish in the studio right now. These lights, I can't see them, but it's hard, bro. It's the vibe going.
That's what I'm talking about, man. It's been a minute, man. I appreciate you coming through, my brother.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I had to show love, like I was saying earlier before we was off mic. I mean, I'm not a basketball savant, but I'm in here. I love the NBA. I love the league. But what you really be doing with it is just so refreshing because it's not thirst trapping for the likes, for the takes, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
thirsting for the takes.
Yeah, nah, you coming here really thoughtful. It's thought provoking at the same time. It's like you can do both. You can really have insight and also be like, oh, let me disagree with this thing. I don't like what you're talking about, but
of course,
a lot of people don't move that way.
Of course, so you know what too, and also there's a real hole in the sports analyst game because they don't allow brothers like us in there. Well, they try not to let brothers like us in there, but that's what I'm here for. I'm trying to push down that door, man. You know what I'm saying?
Kick it open, bro. That's how we do it.
Of course, 100%, man. So family, like I said, my man Brooklish out here for the streets. Make sure y'all go out and go download that song Loose that he got on streaming on all platforms. Matter of fact, tell the family where to find you, my brother.
Yo, listen, I'm on all streaming platforms.
All of them.
Spotify, Tidal gives us the most money. Holla at your boy. Apple Music.
Wait, you said Tidal?
Tidal be giving the cuts, bro. They got the really good cuts, but if nobody's streaming on Tidal, it really don't help. So, Spotify, I mean, Bandcamp, YouTube, wherever you can find it, just type in Brooklish, BROOKLISH, and Alex and she has such the craziest name because it's like Alexander, but she was just like, nah, I'm Alexander. And I'm like, what does that mean? She's just like, because I walk with the spirits. I was like, oh, you on some so you never know who I'm with. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I don't want exactly, bro. So, yeah, I mean, but we got a new record called Loose. The visuals is coming out in the next couple of weeks. So we just been moving, man. It's been dope.
I hear that, my brother. The streets need them visuals.
Oh, yeah, nah.
Send that loose.
Tough.
Send that loose.
I'll
Family.
show you after. I got him on the phone right now. It's crazy. It's lit,
there
bro.
we go. Family. So go ahead and go run those numbers up. Morel told you where to find them on social media. I also put that in the description as well. Go download those tracks. Above the Rim merch also on sale on the black market, family. Get yours. You know how I talk about it. Get yours,
dad
family.
Hats. I need a hoodie dad hat combo, bro. Stop playing.
Yes, my brother. Get swagged up and get your merch. So let's start this, my brother. Copping or dropping?
Let's do it.
So 3 NBA hot takes, hot topic questions I'm throwing out. If you agree, you're gonna cop. If you disagree, you're gonna drop. And that's how we're gonna do this thing. So I had to talk about the elephant in the room, which has been surrounding the NBA restart. Probably the most pivotal factor for the NBA restart. We got to talk about COVID-19 a little bit.
For sure.
So we know that now the NBA is not going to be in a bubble. So now they're going to be traveling from city to city, stadium to stadium. No fans this time, so it's going to be a little bit of a different feel. There's probably, I know they're going to have staff there, no fans, but I'm not sure if they're going to put the projecting screen inside the stadium. I don't know how they're going to do that yet. It might be a little bit more unusual this time because it's not a closed side like how the bubble was. But we'll see how they do that. And I know the NBA is kind of sort of put some guidelines now into the NBA now. Definitely they're trying to search for some ways to allow some new freedom for the players. Also limit exposure, which has been a tough task to put rules in place for COVID-19. But when I was looking up some of the protocols that they had for the new NBA season start, I saw stuff like no bars, no clubs, no lounges, no live entertainment. Rule number 1, point blank.
It's not happening, bro.
No gyms, spas, no pools, no social gatherings with more than 15 people. Now clearly we know there's already one cap. We already know. We're gonna talk about that man already rejecting the rules already. The strip club general who got his jersey retired. We're gonna talk about that. And obviously with COVID, there's gonna be some positive tests, especially towards the start of it, especially now when they're doing in the quarantine phase, in the protocol phase. So I'm gonna swing this to you, my brother. Copping or dropping this take, I'm gonna throw at you.
So, but before I was really sitting with it, I'm like, yo, the NBA is gonna find a way to make money, regardless. Like, you see how we starting early, December 22nd. It's like, if there was a gap, if we would have waited till January, we probably would have lost maybe like $1 billion.
Over
right?
$1 billion.
So it's like, all right, cool. We're gonna make it work. However, the bubble was, Adam Silver did his thing. That was credible. But I'm gonna have to drop this one. Only because if you give people the luxury of being able to travel, right? We could already see somebody we're gonna get to in a minute. Niggas not gonna listen, bro. It's
Not at all.
It's just the way of the game. Somebody's gonna be, because people forget, we gotta go back to when it first popped off. The NBA was the catalyst for people taking this joint serious.
Oh,
you know
yes.
what I mean? Like when you was like, oh, okay, wait, COVID is a real thing. You go from touching mics to touching lives. Now everybody got, you know what I'm saying? So
They set the protocol, the precedent for it.
right. So in terms of them being able to follow through, I think the season is going to go off, but I don't think it's going to go off without a hitch. I think there's going to be some sort of hiccup that's going to cause a little bit of a delay. Somebody's going to get exposure to it. I think we're in a place, unless the vaccine gets to a place where it's like it's heavy and it's something that's like the efficacy is, 98%. Everybody in the league is willing to take it, but
which is going to be a tough task in itself.
Right. Because then we got all of these subliminal things. We got these characteristics about being black. Black folks don't trust the vaccine. Then the vaccine came out so quick, so the anti-vaxxers is it's too much beef.
There's a lot of things going on with this vaccine.
In like 5 years, maybe we be on the same page. But you give me 9 months, that's kind of a stretch. So for me, I'm gonna have to drop this one only because I could see maybe around February it's gonna be a bit of a hiccup, and it's gonna be like, wait a minute, we're gonna have to slow down, and it might be. The worst case scenario is that they go back to a bubble situation, and that's going to cause some different type of level of intensity for the game. So I really don't know how they're going to interact with that one. So I think it's going to be more hiccups than we anticipate. So I'm going to have to drop that one.
So with that being said, it's definitely going to be a tall task in actually getting through the entire season without having many hiccups, as you alluded to, because there's going to be a lot of hiccups. There's going to be some people who test positive for it randomly, or there's some people who are probably going to be lying about their whereabouts, because there's no way you can police anybody from going where they want to go, especially in their home city.
Exactly.
It's going to be tough about that. And it's tough even to police normal people when they coming off a plane or a trip. I see some of those tracers in the airports. It's not really that effective. So
there's nothing you really can do to like tap into it to really get 100% honesty from anybody.
Oh, it's 100% difficult.
It's not happening.
So with that being said, so I want to ask you from your honest opinion right now. So we already established how COVID is definitely going to impact the season in one way, shape, or another. It's pretty much inevitable at that point. So basically, I'm gonna ask you, copping or dropping this take right here. So, COVID-19 will impact the regular season standings more than injuries will impact the standings this season. Because,
That's a hot take right
if
there.
you do test positive for COVID, you do have to go inside a COVID protocol. So you got to take some time off. You got to self-quarantine for probably about a week. That might be about 2 or 3 games you missing. Maybe 2 or 3 losses. Could be. You never know. If it's to a star player. So do you think, in your personal view, COVID-19 will impact it? Copping or dropping?
I'm gonna have to cop that one because now I'm thinking about it. Like, hear me out. Like, if it's like, okay, we waiting for the return of a bunch of people, right? We gonna talk about some people later, like John Wall. You know what I'm saying? You got KD, and we gonna see, and the level of competition is gonna be spread a little bit more. I feel like this season is gonna be more competitive than it's been in a long period of time because we have so many variables. But if at any given moment you could just randomly test positive and then you out two impactful games, like if we get in a matchup between,
You never know when it's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. So at that point, those games might be pivotal, and it might affect the actual standings by the time we get to the playoffs. Now our seeds is different because we lost somebody in a state, like a really important game, in a pivotal game.
And instead of him being injured due to injury, he has to take off 2-3 games due to COVID.
Not even in the stadium.
Not even in the stadium. So you got to self-quarantine, I guess, in a hotel, in the crib. We don't know where. We don't know what's going to happen when you have to self-quarantine because we're trusting them to we're trusting them to do the right thing.
Right. But then on top of that, right, an injury is very self-serving. It's specific.
Of course.
If I tear my ACL, God forbid, it's on me. I'm in the court. Like, it's nothing else that's happening. Like,
basketball-related injury.
Affect nobody else. But if I get COVID, just my existence affects other people.
You don't know when you got it.
Exactly.
Could be at practice.
Yeah,
could be in the training room, in the pool, in the facility, in a sauna.
I could have gave LeBron a high five. Now he out here
in a lounge.
You know what I mean? So it's too many variables in that. So it's an injury is one thing because it affects one player. But if one player gets COVID, it can affect the entire team. We see what happened in whole NFL games that had to be sat because somebody got it. They got to pull one person. Now they don't have a backup. We don't have no point guard. We don't have no shooting guard. You could take out a whole squad with COVID, bro. So that's a big cop for me, bro.
So it sounds like what you're telling me, brother, that depth is a essential part of this season. If COVID might be more important than injuries, or might have more impact on the season than injuries, which I might agree with you with, because I actually will agree with you with, because I don't know if I could trust these brothers.
We already see. We gonna get into it.
I mean, I don't want to talk about one brother as all of them, but damn,
we can talk about 2 brothers. Yo, Club Kings out here.
Club Kings,
bro. There's no way you're gonna tell them to be inside the house when the season starts. They do not care, bro. I'm telling you,
it's gonna be interesting, man. So we're gonna see how the NBA monitors that, because that's gonna be a difficult task. And real quick before we move on, shout out to the NBA. I want to say for not testing for Mary Jane this season.
Yes, let's go.
Shout out to the NBA, Adam Silver. Shout out to you, my brother. A major step in the right direction.
It is.
So I think shout out to the NBA, I would say, for being progressive once again.
For sure.
On the march. So let's move on. Next cop in the drop.
Okay.
I gotta talk about.
Big ball away.
Yes.
I gotta talk about ball control, right? I gotta talk about triple Bs, man. Because I gotta give a shout out to my man, LaVar Ball. Family, you heard the intro. Had to throw it back from the early LaVar Ball draft night. Everybody knows I'm all about prophecies, man. I had a little prophecy that came true. I'm all about prophecies, and my man LaVar Ball, man, he's one brother that his prophecies come true.
Look, I told you so.
I told you so. Rel came over here earlier, said I should have called this episode Look, I told you so, man.
Come on.
Look, I told you so. You want to call it Look, I told you so. I should have called it, but whatever. But we have
It's all good.
But let's talk about LaVar. We can't hate on that man, if you ask me, to be honest. So his prophecy was that all 3 of his sons will go to the NBA, will actually make it to the NBA, and it's finally come true. In the same year, 2 in 1 year. So we had, obviously, we know Lonzo's on the Pelicans. LaMelo was drafted this year to the Charlotte Hornets. And then the middle son, LiAngelo Jello, who also, we know, obviously had the China incident, got signed to the Pistons on a non-guaranteed deal. So it's non-guaranteed, so he still got to work his way up into the lineup. But he's on the squad. He's on the practice squad. He got a jersey.
He's in the league.
He's in the league. A lot that I could say about a lot of brothers. So, you got to call that. Listen, man, that's a prophecy came true. You got to give that man he nailed it. You got to give that man a round of applause. So I know he gets a lot of shit for his outspoken ways, LaVar Ball, from a lot of haters or whatever the case may be. People who don't really like his ways of being a father. But me personally, I love it. I love the support that he gives his kids, and I love that his only goal or his main goal is for their success and for them to get to the league. Because it's only going to benefit them in the end. So all the pushing or whatever he had to push him to be better, it was all, to me, in good spirits because he just wanted them to succeed. And I'm sure everybody can relate to that in some way with seeing their parents succeed. So, Rel, I'm going to ask you, copping or dropping this take, brother. Is LaVar Ball the GOAT sports parent of all time? Now listen, I got some ideas of some GOAT sports parents. We got Venus and Serena's dad. He's up there. We got Tiger's pops too. What was his name? Earl Woods or some shit like that. We got Floyd Mayweather Sr., a GOAT sports pop. We got Del Curry. We got Snoop. You got a couple of kids. I mean, they ain't in the league.
They not in the league yet, but they got a nice little.
But he was a good sports father.
Yeah, for sure.
Got LeBron too. If you want to get real new school with it, I don't know if he up there yet, but
Pops wasn't really in there.
Copping or dropping, LaVar Ball is the GOAT sports parent. What you got, my brother?
Listen. This is going to be crazy, but I'm going to cop this. This is why.
Is it that crazy?
This is why. Yo, there's some elite sports parents out there. You know what I'm saying? I was going to go to Serena and Venus. They pops worked them. They about to have a movie, bro. Like, it's not even a game. Like, he worked them into excellence. Like, you can't. I know a bunch of male tennis players that I wouldn't put them against Serena. It's not even a game, not even a contest. However, I'm going to tell you that LaVar is different because he exceeded expectations on two fronts, right? Black men don't get to be arrogant and right.
And
you understand what I'm saying? We don't get the luxury of being the asshole that was right.
And be right. That's what's making them mad.
Exactly. So essentially, every time we get to be painted out this is what y'all look like. Oh, you know what I'm saying? There's all of these negative connotations with it. But he put his dick on the table. He was like, yo, my kids are going to be in the league.
I'm telling you.
I'm going to sell my sneakers for my kids. They ain't play a game yet. You going to buy these shoes, big baller brand. Bro, and all of his kids are in the league. Now, the only time we've seen something like this, we had the Holiday Brothers, you know what I mean? And that was dope. We seen all three of them playing one game. That was pivotal.
But don't have the same cachet.
It's not the same. Brother. So although we can't talk about the excellence of his sons, because I all think if we talk about some herbs in the dispensary, they all mid-grade. It's fine. You know what I mean? But at the same time, for him to speak it into existence, and now he got all three of them, and they have their ceiling isn't as low as people think. Like, I think that there's only going to be one Melo, but LaMelo might be able to kind of figure some stuff out. Yeah. I think Lonzo has a lot more to give than people give him credit for. I just think, I think you said this one of your past episodes. He just needs the right situation.
Yeah, I said in the last one, I need Lonzo to get in the right situation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just needs to be in the right environment to kind of foster a little bit more of that leadership ball that he needs to be able to step into, because he's not trash. He just doesn't have the skill level to be able to ascend on the court.
Hurt too.
So, you know what I mean? But all in all, you have three sons. You talk shit for so long. I'm going to have all my kids in the NBA. And they in the NBA. That's the prophecy. When you prophesize...
Listen, the prophecy.
And it comes true? What you going to tell me, bro?
How can he tell me anything? And listen, the most important thing that people are just forgetting is the support. The support is what's most important. Support from a parent is what's most important, because listen, Jello now, he was before Melo. He was supposed to get in the league, and we know he had his incident going on, blah, 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 all that nonsense. But what? His father still pushed him to get into the league. He told him, don't quit. You didn't go the conventional route of being drafted. You were undrafted, clearly, but you got to work your way differently. You got to go through the G League, Development League, work your way so that scouts can see you. Somebody can see you. Show them you can ball. I'm believing you. So it doesn't matter if they don't believe in you. It doesn't matter if the streets don't believe in you.
I believe
in you.
He's the prime example of putting faith over fact. It's just like, fam, I don't care. Like, if I know you can do it, you're gonna do it.
You're gonna do it.
It don't gotta be conventional. Your level of success and how you get there don't have to be LeBron. It don't have to be Jordan. It don't gotta be the same way. All I said was you gonna get to the league. I don't care how we get there.
You gonna get there though.
We gonna get there,
all
bro.
3 young bloods is gonna get there.
That is crazy,
so,
bro. To do
I gotta
it 3
give
times,
my man. I gotta give a black man a shout out on that. So shout out to my triple B. Let's move on now. The competitiveness of the NBA landscape. Terrell. So when I go through this list of rosters, when I'm looking out now. I see a lot of teams that can compete, man. There's a lot of teams that got better. A lot of the playing field is a little bit more even this year. There's a couple of free agent signings that went a couple of different ways. Last episode, I went over all the free agent signings for the top teams. And when I look at the landscape of the NBA, I feel like there's like a legit 8 teams in each conference that can compete. Run for your money.
That could win.
That could win something. You get what I'm saying? So, the last time I seen something like this, it's been a while since I seen this type of competitive balance. And we talked about this off air before we got on the mic, but the competitive balance in the NBA is up, my brother. So, copping or dropping this take. Let me start you off here. This upcoming season, copping or dropping, will be the most competitive season of all time. Copping or dropping this take. I'm gonna go there.
See, you add the spice to it. Hold on, wait. That's an easy cop. All time, I'm gonna say.
But when I say competitive balance, I mean parity throughout the league. Sure. Like when I say, I don't mean that there's a definitive favorite. Like we all know, the Lakers are obviously the defending champs. We know they're obviously upgraded in their free agency. But are they overwhelming favorites?
No,
is what I'm getting to.
So. On paper, if we going by paper, that's an easy cop. However, I'm a realist. So based on our first cop or drop, right, you still got to factor in how much parity they gonna have over time if COVID is a factor.
Boom.
So now we got teams
how you brought that up in there.
You feel me? Like you got teams that might not have the right depth. Like the Lakers don't really have a bench like that. So it's like, I mean, they've upgraded, but it's like, all right, like, you know what I mean? So what are we talking about? And if the right team goes down the right way, the parity shifts. Or automatically.
But the Lakers also have deficiencies, even though they picked up a lot of pieces. So it depends on how they use their lineup. So they picked up Dennis Schroeder. They picked up actually the top 2 6-mans of the year. They picked up Schroeder and they picked up Montrez.
Chico.
And then they picked up Marcus Hall to start on you. And then they picked up Wesley Matthews as well. But now we don't know if Schroeder's going to start. If Schroeder's going to come off the bench. And then also as well, we don't know how COVID is going to impact the season. And then also as well on a basketball standpoint, none of those pickups that they have are really defensive pickups, except for really Marc Gasol. Yeah. But this is the older Marc Gasol. This is not Defensive Player of the Year Marc Gasol.
You got with everybody that would be in the paint. You got rid of Dwight. You got you don't have no real stops.
Role players who knew their role.
Right, exactly.
In my opinion.
So for me, it's a minor cop.
Oh, okay, I like that. Okay, I take that. I'm minor. Me too. A minor cop.
Like I put change in my pocket. I'm like, I got just enough to cop this real quick. Only because I think that like the Lakers made these pickups, but it didn't shift the balance. So I'm just like, well, I'm just watching the West. It's like, nah, because the East. If Miami showed us anything, it's like the East is not some train wreck that you could just bowl over. We still haven't seen what the Nets can do. I'm still I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like this, you still got Philly.
That's a deep team.
That's looking all right.
Those boys don't flap a shabbing you deep, bro.
Listen, bro, so you still have, you know what I'm saying, Giannis. I don't know what these boys are going to. It's a lot of competition on this side. That's not
on both conferences now.
I almost wish LeBron was still on the East. Because it would have been a different thing. Like, I feel like him getting a ring in this season. Because now you notice KD came over to the East. Exactly.
You still got now Giannis, his new horse in the East.
His whole legacy is him walking through like, the East wasn't really that hard. So now it's like, if I'm looking at it in terms of that lens, the East is actually a nice little, I can watch a couple games.
The East got some comp.
You feel me? So
don't sleep on the East.
I'm a cop that one, only because I think that in any other year I could think of, there was always a dominant favorite that I could think of. Like even in Jordan's era,
there's always been a dominant favorite,
or it was like a trifecta,
or one or two teams that was a step or tier or two above
the Pistons and them. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there was always easy. Like I'm not gonna go beyond 4. But after last year in the bubble, we have all of these other factors. I kind of think that works in the favors. Anybody can take it, realistically, except for the Knicks. But anybody can take it. Anybody can take it. So I'm a cop. Actually, no, that's not a minor cop. I'm a cop that one. I think this is really...
I like that. Thank you for come on, son. You can't go hard or go home. You know how to go hard or go home.
I'm a cop it. This is going to be an interesting season to watch.
Because I'm gonna agree. I'm glad you switched over and came to the real route. All right, because I agree. I think it's the most competitive season we're in for a long time. You know, also why I'm gonna say why it's the most competitive season, because there's no fans, as we alluded to. So if people are forgetting that there's no fans, a lot of those young teams that didn't, you notice in the bubble, the reason why the Miami Heat was a team to force to be reckoned with, and the reason why I had the prophecy of picking the Heat to go to the finals, and I was right from February, is because I knew they had a lot of young guys, but they had a lot of hungry young guys on their team. And when there's no fans, you don't have the extra naysayers in the background. You don't have those extra friends and family members in the background that that add that extra added pressure in the back of your head for some of those young guys. So some of these young guys play a lot better when they're not saying that there is a bubble, because there isn't a bubble this time, but there's no fans. So they're a lot more comfortable. It's really about the intensity of the game, and it's just hooping at that point. It's open gym at that point.
Yeah, we seen mad people getting buckets on buckets. I'm like, who is this? Like, why is he scoring 50 in a game? You know what I mean? So I agree, but I think the only difference is that it's difference in a bubble. When there's no fans.
100%.
So now we still have
an added extra.
Yeah, we still have the travel element. So depending on how they set it up, I think that it might not work to the same advantage, because you had the same exact court setup, right? And then you had the blankets where I've had this argument with a couple of people where it's just like, I think that it was easier to score because there was less. Yeah, there was less depth in your field of vision. So you literally it's like when you playing in the gym. Sometimes you go.
Of course, you pay attention to the other people in the stands. Everything is a little bit of a distraction.
Physically, I'm talking about like if you go into like a high school gym, you can get locked in. You can really just, all right, cool.
Yeah, you feel the energy of everybody else.
I could judge the edge. I know where the space is at. So when you have different stadiums that you got to go to, even the young dudes still got to make an adjustment to a new arena. And so I think that kind of might offset it a little bit. But I think this is going to be a really interesting season to watch. I think
it really is, man.
The reason I'm 100% cop it is because I know for a fact that 9 times out of 10, any game I turn on, if I turn on at random, I'm going to be locked in.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah,
it's going to be each one, because I love how they did the duo aspect this year. So it is a lot more of that in that aspect. But I do feel like the competitive edge has really taken up a notch, because I feel like a lot of teams have taken notice of the Miami Heat making it to the finals in the bubble. So with that being aspect, it's a lot of hooping going on right now. So it's a lot of open gym hooping. So we're going to see what's going on in this new season, man. And I definitely 100% think, in my opinion, that it's going to be the most, if not at least top 3, I would say, competitive seasons.
Depending on how it ends up and who makes it to the last stretch, I'll be interested to see. Dumb question: Is we still doing 82 games, or is it?
It's 72.
Okay, shortened to 10. All right, so that's even more. When you got less games, yes, more intense. Every game matters now.
Every game matters.
That 10 game,
and they only release half of the schedule, so the schedule is only released until March.
Yeah, So, there's a lot of factors that make this a lot more interesting.
Every game matters, literally.
10 games. You know how many times the load management, you know what I mean? Just they be sitting out, I ain't gonna play this one. No, you don't got that luxury, bro. Like,
every game matters.
72 games? Listen, bro. It's big diff. Yeah, I'm gonna cop that.
Buckle up.
We gonna see.
I said buckle up. So we got to talk about the blockbuster that happened last week. So like we know, we had a short and off season. So we know free agency was really condensed. Trade season was condensed. The entire off season was condensed. We know the NBA starting at December 22nd. Preseason is starting this week. Training camps has already started. And we already had our first blockbuster in the middle of training camp. We got to talk about the news, all the crazy shit that's coming out of Houston right now, real, because we had a little bit. What's today? Monday. When did that happen? I feel like it was either Thursday or Friday. Thursday?
It was Thursday.
Thursday or Friday that happened, yeah. Random news, middle of the day. I don't know if it was even now. I can't even remember because it feels like so many days and now. And this day and age,
at the time, bro.
3 days is like 2 weeks now.
I don't even have weekends.
3 days
no more,
is 3 weeks. But we got a blockbuster deal, man. We got John Wall, my man Slutty, that we call him, the Rose Bowl legend, out there in D.C.
Jersey in the rafters in his bitch.
Jersey in the rafters, getting traded for Russell Westbrook, man, the Brody over there. So it's a swap of point guard with similar contracts. Russell Westbrook going over there to team up with Bradley Beal and the Washington Wizards. John Wall teaming up, allegedly, we're going to get to that, with James Harden over there in Houston. But when I look at this trade, man, because it definitely was a blockbuster trade, there was some rumblings about it, but the streets didn't really know if it was actually going to go through with it. And it was still a blockbuster trade, either way you sliced it, because they're both two big names and both two mysteries in how they're going to fit in their new teams. So I wanted to discuss how these two fit in their new teams. So looking at the Rockets organization as a whole really quick before we get into the Russ fit of this aspect. The Rockets organization, to me, when I'm looking at it, it's kind of plunging in a way, because if you look at it within the last, I would say 12 to 18 months, they already traded 2 Hall of Fame point guards. James Harden already playing with CP, Chris Paul, claiming that I wouldn't say claiming, media reports saying that they didn't want to play together, or they shouldn't, or he didn't want to play with CP, got him shipped out. They try to send my boy, CP is one of my favorite players in the league, so they shipped my son to Siberia. Now my man is out there in the Phoenix. Brought Russell Westbrook in. Didn't really work out too well for them. Now Russell Westbrook is saying that he wants out because he wanted to play more of, quote unquote, his game. He wants to be more of a facilitator, more on ball with James Harden. So we're starting to see a trend when it comes to James Harden with not being able to coincide with other superstars with him, even though he's asking for those superstars to join him out there in Houston in order to win, which we know is the ultimate goal. So to me, it's clear to me that there's a disconnect between James Harden and upper management. Russell Westbrook got traded now. John Wall coming in. So really quick, because I feel like the Russ side is a little bit easier to dissect more so than the Houston Rockets side of this, because there's a lot of integral parts that go into that John Wall, James Harden union over there. Yeah. So on the Russ side, I want to say, when I heard this trade, I was surprised, but pleasantly surprised. Because when I looked at this deal from initially looking in on paper, because no one has played yet, obviously, I like the deal, brother.
Russ and Bradley is a nice combination, I think.
I like it.
I think it works because of his style of play. I think he talked about his game, but even when he went to Houston initially, I was just like, how is this going to work? There's not enough ball for both of them. To be on the same court, and it showed the way that they played. It would be one night. It would just be, the game would be lopsided.
It was a tough fit, regardless.
Yeah, it was just lopsided. One night, Harden would take over for a quarter, and then Russ would come in and just be chucking for the whole. It's just like there was no level of like camaraderie. It just wasn't a good organic fit in terms of the ball movement, in terms of the way that they took over the game. It just didn't really make sense overall. And I was surprised that they was able to I wasn't surprised that the season kind of ended the way it did.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest.
It wasn't
for Russ, but I think that all in all, I think that the Houston organization is still ponying up all of their chips on Harden. Like everything is Harden or nothing. It's just like they're not budging in that aspect. So I think that Russell will team up with Bradley, and he'll be able to play his aggressive nature.
Do you like that fit together?
Yes.
How you feel about that pair?
I think that Bradley will compliment him more than Harden ever did.
I agree.
And I think that Russ will be able to still play that aggressive ball, but he'll be able to trust Bradley in a different way. And I think that they'll be able to make some magic happen if Russ can kind of, over the last couple of years, he was in OKC for like 10 years. Like,
10 years.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, after a while, you still got to get some stuff in your head to make sure that you can kind of readjust your game. Like, you want to play your style of game, but you still have to bring it into the organization. And I think that after all his time in the league, he might make this final adjustment and be like, listen, I tried to play this way when I was in Houston. It didn't really work that way. So I'm going to play my style, but I'm going to bring in, I think Bradley might be able to elevate that, and I think they'll be able to go far. Yeah. So I think that'll work out really well. I think they got the better end of the stick, honestly.
Yeah, so I agree with you. Well, I wouldn't say the better end of the stick because the standpoint that I'm coming from, I would say the trade was pretty even to me because I like it for both teams, in my opinion. So let's start from the Wizards side. So I really like the pairing between Russ and Beal because, like we said, Russ, we know his advantages as a boy. He's a big point guard. He's a combo guard. We know he can finish at the rim. We know he can still get to the rim whenever he chooses to.
Feels like it.
Yeah, we can get to the rim. He can eat whenever he needs to. But we know of Russ's deficiencies is, number one, his IQ. Well, I would say situational IQ is how I like to call it because I don't want to disrespect him. Disrespect my man and say he has no IQ. But situational IQ, so in late game moments, in important moments in the game, Russ, because he doesn't
make the best basketball decision.
Because he's such an aggressive player that he actually loses his mind a little bit. I'm going to say that in the nicest way that I can. He loses his mind a little bit on the court and he gets a little extra aggressive and doesn't realize how he I don't say he doesn't realize, but he doesn't make the best decisions when it comes to what is the best for himself and what's best for the team. So I feel like with him being with Bradley Beal, I actually think it's a nice pairing for himself, and I'm looking at it from an angle of a standpoint of men in this aspect, right? Because we know basketball is the sport. We could talk about all of the X's and O's as we want because when we talk about John Wall or Russell Westbrook, they're pretty similar type of a player.
It's a fair swap.
Yeah, it's a fair swap. We don't know what John Wall is going to be, but we know what John Wall was. And it was both two explosive guards, both two guards who can distribute the ball, both two guards who can facilitate the ball, both two guards who can play with other scorers. You got Beal there, who we know can average 25 to 30 a night. He's a high volume scorer. So when I look at Russ, to me, I like the pairing because I like how their personalities mesh with each other. Because when I look at a guy like Bradley Beal, he's a more mild-mannered kind of dude. He's very talented. He's a very reserved kind of dude. So when I look at John Wall, he's like literally in the middle of a reserved dude and an outspoken dude at the same time because he can get jiggy with both. Depending on the situation, depending on what it is.
John Wall is a hot boy, bro.
John Wall is a hot boy. You know.
That's really why I'm saying that they kind of got the better end of the stick, only because I'm looking at what's going to happen is I think that Bradley Beal is going to have an effect on Russell Westbrook in the court where it matters. And I think that when you pair James Harden and John Wall, they're going to clash outside the court.
So you're not liking this deal for Houston?
Not in terms of them not getting along with each other. I think they're going to get along great. But they the hot boys. So for
that's
me,
a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you literally got the LeBron and Kobe of club dudes, you know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of distractions going on.
Mr. Steal Your Girl and Mr. Steal Your Girl's best homeboy. You know what I mean? They both go. So I think that the off-court antics might affect their on-court play. And so I think that when you look at the overall behavior of how they're going to interact, I think that on paper, it's an evenly matched trade, and I think that it is fair. But in terms of people's actual life, COVID, all of that stuff affecting how they actually going to interact, I can picture you now, like, mark my words, it's going to come like January, it's going to be a random-ass club. John Wall, Harden, they're going to both be out there, and all of a sudden, neither one of them going to catch COVID.
Well, COVID. We're not supposed to be up in clubs, brother.
That's my point.
We're not supposed to be up in those clubs, bro.
You know what I mean? They're going to be late night and getting crazy. You're going to see
top flight security going to be up in the club.
John Wall going to try to bring the Dougie back. You know what I mean? It's going to be wild. And then all of a sudden, they not going to catch COVID. Somebody else on the team going to catch COVID. And all of a sudden, the ramifications of it is going to be too deep. So I think that, like I said, on paper, it makes sense. And I think that it's a fair trade. I think it's going to work beneficial to both parties. But in real life, I don't know if Harden and Wall need to be in the same spot. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, it's definitely an interesting pairing when it comes to the aspects of life. Personality-wise, Harden and Wall are not the greatest mesh. Also, and I'm going to throw you a caveat when you throw in DeMarcus Cousins in that mesh too. Because that man is another strong personality, even though right now his game doesn't talk for it because he's coming back from injury. You know, he's coming back from 2 major injuries. From Cousins and Wall both coming back from a major injury.
Wall hasn't played in like 2 years, right?
2 years. He hasn't played till, I believe, I wrote it down here, it was like December 18th or something like that from 2018. It's a long time.
He's been looking good in practice, though.
He's been looking really good in practice. He's been looking really good in workouts. And I'm one of those, I've been on Twitter, I've been on record of saying, I'm a big John Wall fan from before he got injured. So, I low-key think he's going to do really well. On the Rockets, but I don't know what's going to happen now with James Harden because we do know he hasn't reported to training camp today. He was supposed to report. Well, this weekend he was supposed to report. To practice, he didn't report. He's been in the club with Lil Baby all weekend.
He's chilling, bro.
Harden's been wilding out with Lil Baby all weekend. We don't know what's going on there. Me personally, I think he's going to report either tomorrow, sometime this week. I feel like Son is gonna report because I don't feel like he wants to ruin his professionalism, or at least put a stain on his professionalism, quote unquote, whatever you want to say. Because Harden really hasn't been in the media that bad. He just more so with me when I talk about Harden. When I usually critique him, it's more so about his accountability as a leader. Because I don't feel like James Harden, for his superstar status,
is not
a leader and doesn't really take onus in the leadership aspect of his game, which to me, I think if you're a quote-unquote superstar,
you're supposed to.
Leadership is an aspect in that if you're going to get that title. So I always have a problem with Harden, and I feel like he's very deficient in that aspect. So you was about to say something.
Yeah, for me, I think that if John Wall comes to Houston and he gives us like, yo, I haven't been in the league for 2 seasons, and I'm coming.
If he get hungry, John Wall?
If he comes back, I think it'll elevate Harden's game, and I think that they'll go far. I like the pairing of Russell and Bill better.
I think they're gonna make some noise in these.
I think they do, but I think that if we get explosive, I'm not for play. I'm coming in here. I'm not Dougie. I'm dunking on people.
No Dougie?
No, I'm Dougie when the game is over. I need that. I need that when the game is finished.
Come on, Seth. You know we gonna get a John Wall Dougie.
I need a dub and then a Dougie. You feel me? If we get that, I think that Harden's style of play, I don't need him to be an effective leader. It should be a part of his character and a part of his superstar status for Harden. But if John Wall could come in and kind of facilitate and fulfill those in with a different focus, I just need to see it.
But I don't think. To me, in order for that to happen, Harden would have to take a step back in that role and allow John Wall to lead, which I don't think he's going to do.
I don't think he has to take a step back because he's not doing it. So for me, it's just like he's just going to focus and just be dope on the court. Like, and just if John Wall can step up and just fill that role and then allow Harden to just play his game, I think it's a nice balance. But it just depends on which John Wall we get.
See, my problem with Harden is that he doesn't take ownership of that aspect. To me, when I look at it, I don't feel like he really wants to be the leader. Like, I feel like he kind of fake wants to be the leader. Like, it sounds good in the media. It's good. It sounds cute to say.
To your point. It's like, that's what it's supposed to, like, you look at somebody like a LeBron or someone who's making decisions, but like CP3, I know he's going to go over there, have a great relationship with the staff, be making calls, you know what I'm saying?
He's already thinking about that before he even
gets there. So my point is that, like, I think that Harden could put on that facade, but he really don't want to do that. So if John Wall could come in and just facilitate that and kind of acquiesce to that role, Harden could just ball.
See, but the problem now is, now Harden is messing up the rotation. With him not coming to practice. With him not coming to training camp. Now, Rel, how we're looking at it now, from the outside looking in, now to me, from the fans, from the ownership, upper management, media, blogs, reporters, TMZ, whatever it is, they looking like, son, you don't want to be here. So if you're showing me that you don't want to be here when it's a shortened season, we know everybody got to lock in right now because we know it's difficult times. Everybody's not crazy about the restart coming this early. We got to lock in. You should be here. You're the quote-unquote leader of this team. There's rumblings of you wanting to go to Brooklyn where they really don't really need you, if I'm going to keep it a buck. You just want to go there.
You just want to be in Brooklyn.
We didn't hear no Brooklyn shit until Harden wanted to go there. So to me, if I'm upper management, I'm a little tight also as well. And I'm a little upset at James Harden because I'm like, man, you're not taking accountability for you being the leader. You're the one who wanted Russ here. You're the one who wanted CP traded away. You thought Russ would have been a better option. It didn't work out. Now Russ wanted to leave. He got to the place
doing all of that, and you in the club. You got John Wall here, who seemingly looks like he want to be here. They got pictures and shit today. DeMarcus Cousins coming here. They signed Christian Wood. So, like we said earlier, this is the most competitive NBA balance we've seen in a while, right? So if you got a guy like James Harden, who is a superstar, right? You got a complimentary piece in a John Wall, who could be a number 2, a second team. Even though he's coming back from injury, he still has talent. We know that. DeMarcus He's been looking good in practice. He been still like
he been looking real good. Speedy John Wall,
explosive still.
I've been seeing Rose Ball John Wall.
Yeah, boy.
So who knows how hungry my son John Wall is? So now is Harden, why aren't you at least taking the initiative and being a team player, a leader, a star, reporting to camp and doing what you got to do? To me, that's a stain on James Harden as a persona, on stain on James Harden's superstar status as a leader. And me personally, I don't like it. So I'm a little disappointed in him that he's not actually reporting to camp or whatever the case may be. And I don't like the reports that he wants to come to Brooklyn. Because if you want to come to Brooklyn, to me, that looks like you want to become either a second or a third fiddle. To me, when I look at James Harden, I say star.
I don't think he sees it that way. I think he
That's a problem.
I agree.
That's a problem.
I think he wants to be a star on the court without the work. Like
that's a problem.
He just wants to be able to go there, you know what I'm saying, do 4 step backs, cook, and then go to the other court and go to the other side of the court and keep it moving.
You average over 30 for the last 3 years, my brother. You talk, but clearly, some of the media reports are saying that he wants to win so bad. That's why he wants to go to the Nets. He just wants to win. So you want to win as being the second or third fiddle rather than being the guy to get you over the hump. He is H-Town.
Some people's idea of legacy is different. You could talk about it with the same thing with KD. It was like, we wanted to say that he was going to be great, but he had to get with the team to get, you know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, we look at that decision crazy at the time, but in retrospect, it's going to go down. He got a ring. And it's like, it's part of his legacy. So it's like, I don't know how Harden is really looking at it on like a real basketball legacy type thing. I think he just wants to ball out and he don't really care about.
So I'm going to ask you on this standpoint, your personal opinion. Are you on board or how you feel about Harden wanting to come to Brooklyn? How do you feel about that aspect?
Fam, that's just sheer, it's laziness, bro. Like, he just want to come over here and cook. He wants to come over here, be able to just, Brooklyn is live still.
It's live right now.
My name is Brooklyn. I know Brooklyn is live.
Brooklyn.
You know what I mean? So you going to come over here, KD, Kyrie, like they got a squad still. Like, it's like you said, we don't really need him over here.
James Harden in Brooklyn is a luxury rather than a necessity.
Exactly, bro. Like, so, and if he's eager to come here, that means he's eager to be chilling. He's not gonna come up. You're not any market you're going to where you're joining 2 additional superstars after you just had one and it didn't really work out. You're essentially going to be like, all right, cool, I just want to come be part of you guys' club. Like, I just want to be down. You know what I mean? It's not you trying to establish yourself and really be hungry. I see no level of hunger if he comes to Brooklyn at all.
I agree with you. So when I hear that he wants to come, when Brooklyn is the only team, quote unquote, that he wants to go to, you know what I see? I see, when I'm James Harden, I want to be a piece, but not the piece.
Exactly.
That's what I see when I hear James Harden. And that is very disappointing, my brother, because he is a top 5 to 7 player on the league, however you want to slice it. I don't think there's any way you could go lower than 7.
He's top
5. Gotta be top 5.
He's amazing, bro. But so it's just like,
the fact that you want to be a piece instead of the piece is a problem for me.
And that's why all of the attributes you're talking about, Russell still has.
That hunger,
so when he goes
that
with
tenacity.
I'm gonna
dog.
My hunger to win is gonna affect my decision quality. That's how bad I want it. It's 3 minutes left in the game, and I'm going to go to the rack even though I got a wing player open that I could dish it out to, and I know he's going to score 7 out of 10 times, but I'm going to go to the rack and get fouled and then miss 2 free throws. Yeah. This is crazy. You get what I'm saying? But I can respect his tenacity.
100%. I love it. I know a lot of people hate Russell Westbrook because he does have his deficiencies, as I alluded to earlier, but that mentality, that hunger, that tenacity, I'll take that on my team any day of the week. Any day.
You can always try to reel it back. You can
reel it back. Listen, he got to have the right brother where he could listen to it and say, yo, Russ, son.
I think Bradley Beal.
Chill.
I think that's a nice match. I'm telling you.
I like it.
We going to see how it really works out.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to put this on the set. Family, I'm going to put this on the set. If the Wizards don't make the playoffs, I'm going to be tight. I'm going to be tight if the Wizards don't make the playoffs because I feel like, to me, they have enough talent to make that at least. I'm even going to say at least. I'm going to say they at least need to make the playoffs. There's 8 slots.
7.
Get in one of them shits.
They're going to be 7 seed. I'm trying to think about...
Because the East is a little distant.
It's a little bit more stacked than it was.
They got the Heat, Celtics, Raptors, Bucks, Sixers, Nets. That's 6 right there. You could throw the Wizards in there, 7. Hornets, Hawks. Hawks upgraded. It get a little sticky. Those last two spots, it could be the Wizards, Hornets, Hawks, Knicks. Nah, your boys ain't getting in there.
I'm not even. No, don't do that.
So disrespectful. Don't get disrespectful.
Don't even. I get so tight just thinking about
it. Tom Thibodeau's a stretch, but you know.
We making strides. Listen, we making strides.
We are, but to me, the Wizards should be in.
Yeah,
I'll be disappointed if they don't get in. You have Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal on your team. They re-signed Davis Bertans for $80 million. They got Thomas Bryant over there. They got my man Hachimura. They should make the AFC, man. They definitely should.
Yeah. If for nothing else, Russell Williams to 8. Like, there's no way they going, like...
I hope so.
Yeah. We'll see, though.
It's
going to be interesting. I'm really excited about the season, bro.
Definitely.
It's going to be dope.
Let's talk about the schedule release, right? So, preseason...
Break it down for me, because I didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah, so this week, this week, at the end of the week, Friday or Saturday, season starts December 22nd. Like I said, training camps already started. Opening night, we got Warriors and Nets. We got Lakers Clippers coming open night.
Wait for that. That's going to be lit.
I want to talk about one thing that we're looking forward to before the start of the season. Could be a position battle. Could be how a player will perform. Could be an upcoming matchup or whatever, something like that. But me personally, what I'm looking forward to seeing in this preseason to the beginning of the season, I would say. And I'm looking at the Phoenix Suns.
Okay. They made a nice couple of moves.
Everybody knows my guy is CP3. Chris Paul going over to the Phoenix. So it's no surprise for a lot of people who listen to this show. And I'm looking to see how those two mesh together because I really firmly, strongly believe that adding Chris Paul to Devin Booker, averaged 26 last year, on the come up, 24 years old, been in the league about, 5 years now. First All-Star appearance last year. Devin Booker's on a rise to one of the top scorers in the league. I know he's having a couple of distractions in the off season, but we're not worried about that right now.
He's gonna be
when the season is on, he's ready because my man CP is over there to set my boy straight. But Devin Booker is a stud, man. He's one of those young pieces that really is a superstar in the making, in my opinion. He averaged 26 and 6 last year, over 28 and 6. DeAndre Ayton is one of the young pieces drafted before Luka, so they need him to pan out.
Yeah, that gotta work out because Luka is a beast. It's ridiculous.
So DeAndre Ayton, he did give him 18 and 10 last year, even though he was suspended for the first 30 games the last half of the season. The Suns went 8-0 in the bubble when it came into the bubble, even though they didn't make it to the playoffs. So they did make some noise. CP going over there, there's a reason for that. So he sees some potential in those young pieces. They got Jay Crowder that went from Miami over there to the Phoenix Suns.
Great move.
Great pickup for them. So me personally, I'm very interested to see how the Phoenix Suns meshed together in these first couple of games. Because I feel like a guy like CP, he brought that Oklahoma City Thunder roster to the 5th seed, tied for 4th last year. The same record as those Rockets and the team he was traded from, even though they lost in the first round. He's a person to me that can...
he's a difference maker.
A difference maker. He can galvanize a team and take them over the top. So me personally, I'm looking for them Phoenix Suns, and I'm ready. I'm ready to see how they're gonna make noise in the West. So, Rel, what you looking forward to this season, brother?
Well, for one, I'm definitely I think Devin Booker just needs one like extraordinary season. I think he would have had a superstar outing had the season not got interrupted.
Yeah.
Because the way that they had the style of play. The
elite scorer.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So he didn't really get a chance to shine. I think that he could take this into this season, all things,
in the bubble, he averaged 30.
He was cooking, bro. That's what I'm saying. So I think that this might be his superstar season. And I think that CP being over there is going to kind of just push him in that right direction and make
kind of
decisions.
mold shit together
it's
a
really
little
good
bit.
stuff. But for me, I'm looking for two things. I want to see how Brooklyn is going to do. Because it's going to be real interesting to see.
Talk to me. How you feel about that? How are you? All right, scale of 1 to 10, right? How excited are you for this roster right here?
Fam.
1 through 10.
Like a solid 8. I'm excited because I can't be too. I'm a Knicks fan. I can't I can't say in the back of my head. I'm like, yo, it's shit ball, but I can't do that on paper.
True.
You're recording me, so
you can still root for both,
but
do well.
Just to see, like, I promise you, I work up the block from these dudes.
I
I'm
know.
going to be at my boy.
You know it's gonna be live.
Shout outs to Juwan, my boy. He's been with the Nets for forever. So like I'm trying to get into, you know what I'm saying? They don't got no crowd, but I'm trying to be if I could be in the back by the bathroom or something.
Bruh,
you know what I mean?
But we can see him pull in.
But this is going to be. I just want to see KD back. I want to see how he's going to compare to how he used to be. If he can recover from that injury and even be at 80%, it'll be a sight to see. And I want to see how he measures with Kyrie and see how that really balls over.
I think he's going to bounce back well, man.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. And I don't need him to be super. I don't need him to be 100%. I need him to just be able to fit in with the roster and give me like 80%, and they'll be really a real problem. I want to see them match up with the Celtics.
Dynamite matchup.
Yeah, it's gonna be good games to watch this season on the East. Like I haven't felt that in mad long. You feel me?
People
like the East,
I've been telling the streets are sleeping on the East. East has really came up. They have a legit 6 or 7 teams that can compete legitimately.
I want to see how, you know what I'm saying, I want to see how Jimmy Butler comes back after that loss, you know what I'm saying, and see how he really revamps and galvanizes
Bam got
the
his
team.
deal as well.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So I think that the East is something to look at. But what I'm really, really excited to see is how Kawhi and these niggas respond to how they left the bubble. Because I was like, what is happening, bro? You had all of these commercials, my G, about this, and then when you get to the bubble,
town,
bro. When you got into the bubble, it's like, nah, it's not an excuse. I don't care, bro.
I'm already saying the Lakers. The Clippers were very lackadaisical in the bubble.
They didn't want to be there. It's like, I don't give a...
They were the team with the most players who didn't want to be there.
You could they voted to not be there, but the Lakers did too. But at the end of the day, it was like, all right, we're going to be here. Well, we're going to be
I'm going to handle my business.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like...
Leadership.
I need to see how you respond to this when all things are equal. You're not going to be in the bubble now. You're going to be traveling. None of those excuses. You're not locked in. You can't go to a club. Kawhi wasn't going to a club. No way.
Anyway.
You feel me? So it's like, are you really this man that they painted you out to be? Or are you just, was it a fluke? I'm not going to say it's a fluke. He's a monster. He's the Terminator when it comes to being, his basketball IQ is superior.
Yes.
His decision quality is crazy. But how are you going to respond to LeBron? And the moves that
how you gonna respond to get put out? He got put out by Jokic in the...
Y'all looked crazy. That's what I'm saying. So I really want to see, now that the fact you told me that's the first game,
Lakers, Clippers.
I cannot wait to watch that.
Warriors, Nets.
I can't.
I'm ready.
Clay hurt himself, right?
Clay's not gonna be there. They picked up Kelly Oubre.
That's a good
Andrew Wiggins. Draymond Green is still there.
That's good.
Number 2 pick, James Wiseman.
Andrew Wiggins is supposed to be a big deal. That's crazy to me, though. But things happen. But
I want to go back to those Clippers, though, because I agree with you. Now, they got to show and prove this year. the LA Clippers. We seen Paul George go on All the Smoke podcast. He tried to blame Doc Rivers for how he was used. I wasn't really feeling that.
What you gonna do now?
And Paul George is on his no accountability tour. I'm not trying to hear that shit right now. But
let's see where you play.
Let's see the deal right now with the Clippers because I'm very eager to see. And you know what? I talked about the lack of leadership with James Harden. I also got to talk about that with Kawhi Leonard. Listen, if you're one of the top 3, top 5 players in the league, I need to see leadership. That's a part of being a superstar. Is leadership. I'm sorry, you have to be a leader of men. Even though we know how hard that is to do, to lead a bunch of men to where you need them to go.
Yeah. I think with Kawhi, though, because it's a little bit different from Harden, because I feel like he really still embraces all the other aspects of like superstardom.
Of course.
And he has a level of excellence that doesn't really get like subsided by any reason. He doesn't have all of the distractions. But if you're not gonna lead by like galvanizing a team,
lead by example,
then at least lead by example. So it's like I heard a lot of rumblings about there being favoritism and the team is feeling a certain type of way. But he's Kawhi Leonard. Shut up. Like yes.
First of all, that's normal. Relax. By the way, I don't know why that was a report because that's normal.
What are you talking about?
Superstars always get favoritism over regular players.
Relax yourself. Like if you coming from the D League, I don't want to hear nothing. Shut up. Relax.
That's normal.
But at the same time, it's like if you had an opportunity to really get crazy in a bubble and he disappeared mad times in the fourth quarter, and I'm just like, what is happening? Like, where's my man? Like, so for me, I just need him to. I want to see how he's gonna really transfer how the end of the season happened in the bubble. And really make atonement for how the season ended. I really want to see if he steps up. I'm gonna watch the first couple of games. In the first 5 games, if he's still that same dude, I'm checking out.
Yeah,
I'm going with the Lakers for the West. We over there. But if he starts to keep getting a little bit more of that motivation and he's really trying to cook and show improve, then it might be a real interesting matchup. And they're gonna be going for LA. Whose town is it really?
I need that energy and I need that intensity out of both of them. Out of everybody right now, I need both of that. And in this season's about to be real deal.
Yeah, so I am really excited. Like I said, I'll probably be able to turn on any game at any given time, and I'm not going to check out, except if it's the Knicks. But I look forward. I want to see how Obi do. Like I said, real quick, I know that I've been cracking on the Knicks the whole podcast, but
how you feel about their off-season additions?
I think they made a couple of. I really don't know much about
Obi Toppin. They drafted. It's power forward. He's very Amari Stoudemire-like, Kenyon Martin-like is what I call him. So he's more of a finisher, a receiver on that power forward position.
We need
very
that,
athletic finisher.
We need that, but at the end of the day, for me, I'm looking at it like Obi Toppin just on some general practice. He got one of those names where he either gonna be real nice or we gonna be shitting on him every newspaper, bro. It ain't no in between.
He does. Obi definitely has a name where you're gonna remember that shit.
It's either they gonna be talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi or Obi get him off the court.
You're gonna either hear my son Obi or fuck out of here with Obi right now.
So I'm looking forward to watching. But they still got Ntilikina, so it's just like they still need to make some.
So I'm very disappointed that they're still keeping I call him the French Kriller, not still the killer. The French Kriller, the French Baguette.
Young Baguette.
Baguette, whatever you want to call him. I definitely feel like the Knicks, they made some smart moves because they did make some smart moves salary cap-wise. But they definitely struck out on a lot of places that they could have upgraded talent-wise. Like I said, they was trying to get Chris Paul. That didn't work out. They were trying to get a couple of other pieces. I saw they're actually trying to maybe go in talks for DeMar DeRozan.
That would be a good
which would be decent, but we need to see how that pairing will be with RJ Barrett, the Maple Mamba. We'll see. But the Knicks, to me, got Leon Rose, Tom Thibodeau now as the coach. Mike Woodson they brought back over there. They are moving in the right direction. So I do like the moves that they're making.
Young, which is great.
They're getting young. Mitchell Robinson, Alfred Payton, Kevin Knox. They got a bunch of young pieces. They didn't figure out what they're going to do with Julius Randle. They got to get rid of him. He was terrible last year, but we'll see how they do that. But the Knicks, to me, if they're going to get a star, they got to trade for a star.
We don't need a star right now. Like, we need to continue to build.
I don't know. I disagree, brother. I feel like they need at least a semi-star.
Who would you put, though?
Well, there's not a lot of stars, quote-unquote, available.
Sure.
Tradable. that also the Knicks have the pieces to acquire. That's also the problem.
Right.
Unless they trade some draft picks, but we know the Knicks have been notorious for trading their picks, so they're not trying to really go down that road again.
We're not doing that again.
And I don't really say that's a good road. But if there is, say for instance, a James Harden. Now, we know that would be difficult to acquire. We know who he wants out. But let's say he want to go to Brooklyn. Let's say James Harden want to go to the Knicks.
And make a left?
Are you giving up everybody for him?
No. Absolutely not.
You're not giving up everybody.
Have enough Pete. I'm trying to think about how that would be feasible.
You're going to have to give up RJ, Picks, probably Mitchell Robinson, maybe. Natila Killer, maybe. Probably RJ, Kevin Knox.
And
mad picks.
Mad few picks.
Probably about 4 or 5. Even that maybe not be enough.
I wouldn't want it though. Because like I said, we had this whole conversation about his hunger. He's not going to bring anything to the Knicks culture. We're already at a place where the Garden is not even a place you want to be. It's not going to be nobody in the stands, not because of COVID. It's because niggas like nobody wants. Everybody going to be in Brooklyn chilling.
So you rather Knicks to go the route of calm progression, working the young boys.
Let's do what Golden State did. Let's just slow
organic Knicks,
really solid picks. Getting people out, you know what I mean? Let's build it. Let's build a culture that really matters and makes it work, as opposed to we've done it too many times, trading for everything. We always trade for people after they reach their prime. We get people in,
the Knicks is the retirement home.
You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to do that no more. So we shall see. But I do look forward to watching a couple of their games this season. Like I'm gonna follow them. But the Knicks are just notorious for. I'll be so invested for the first 3 quarters, and then they just check out. Why? Like every game, son. Every game, it's like, oh, we could really. Oh, Ntilikina's really cooking right now. And then 11 minutes, 4th quarter. Everybody checks out. And I'm just like, fam, all right.
You know what I'm going to call this, brother? Hashtag organic Knicks tape. Organic Knicks tape. We going to call it. Rel came in here and say he wants the organic Knicks tape.
That kale Knicks, bro. Stop playing, bro.
You want that kale Knicks?
That Christmas green, bro. Stop playing.
Yeah, man. That's for real. So, yeah, brother. So, we talked about the early episode, man. Hottest out of BK right now, my brother. My man Brooklyn's coming in.
Bro.
I told the family, make sure you go out and go download that Loose. I said to you off camera, I was feeling that track, Sydney as well.
Yeah,
2 bombing ass track. Talk to me, brother. What you got coming up for the streets, brother?
So right now we about to put out the visuals for Loose. They gonna be everywhere on the streets shortly. We got these visuals cooking up. Shout out to Dream But Don't Sleep. These cats out of Jersey who are super ninjas when it comes with the camera. And then I'm cooking up a little New Year's special. Got some song called Sweet Potatoes coming out. That's gonna be
Sweet
Potatoes is dope. And then I'm just trying to build out, my label. Ravens and Robins is a label that I've been working on with my man Just Bobby. And we've been trying to just build out. Alexander is part of our group, and I'm trying to get my boy Ja to come along for the ride. So it's just, I'm trying to take the business aspect of music very seriously. I think that's the part that a lot of us miss. We just think the creative side is what's going to happen. And you're going to pop off of Instagram and you're going to get 1 million followers, but it doesn't work like that. I feel like a lot of us get so inundated and overwhelmed because so many of us are creatives. Like all of my friends who are rappers follow other rappers. So if you go on your timeline, it's nothing. You just inundated with people who are just promoting their stuff, and you feel like you shouldn't promote. But at the end of the day, there's no other business model that would make sense for everybody. You go and see a Ford commercial. If you go on, you know what I'm saying?
You don't see 1 million of those.
Exactly. So
until you remember that shit.
People have to promote their product so somebody who hasn't been exposed to it can get exposed to it. But I think it's about finding an organic way, like the Knicks, to be able to grow your audience. And so that's the thing that I've been trying to work on. Slow but steady. I mean, I think that, I've been doing this for a while. And if anything, this last single that I put out is the biggest one that I've had during the quarantine. So it's like, I think that the universe has been kind of steering. As long as you get your business in order, doors will open up, so you just got to keep pushing it out there. So for everybody that's out there that's trying to be an artist, trying to establish it, whether it be in the podcasting game, whether it be in the music game, whether it be creative, if you're doing art, just make sure you have your business in order so that when opportunities do come, you're ready for it and you're not getting, mulled over by making bad choices out of desperation. You know what I mean?
100%. I definitely agree. Well said, my brother. Definitely agree with that. So, family, make sure you go on the lookout for that. Make sure you streaming that Loose.
Yeah, boy.
Make sure you screaming that Sydney. But when we getting the album, fam?
So the reason that we call the record label Ravens and Robins real quick is because me and Just Bobby kind of got together and we started working on a record and it called Ravens. And I'm like, all right, cool. So it started to evolve, and then all of a sudden he started cooking some other beats, right? And so Ravens is kind of like the idea of the harshness of being black, like this juxtaposition of like, yo, we have so much beauty, but it's a lot of struggle into it.
A lot of it.
But as we started making songs, it kind of felt real dark, and I was like, this is a heavy place. I don't know if I want to stay here. And so, long story short, we started making some lighter songs, and I'm like, this is kind of like, we making too much music. I can't put this all on one record. It don't really fit. But if I make 2 separate records, it might be all right. And so we're working on 2 records simultaneously, but then out of those records, we got Loose. Then we started to develop other people's sound. Then he started working on music. And so out of those 2 records came this kind of idea. And so we put together Ravens and Robins as a LLC. But Ravens, the album, is definitely going to come out April of next year. So we're going to get it popping, you know what I mean?
Okay, you heard that.
Leading up to it, you know what I mean? We're going to get it popping for sure.
2021.
Yeah, man.
Look for my son coming out for the streets, man.
Yes, sir.
Heavy in the streets, my brother. Like I said, both of those tracks, definitely all your tracks, fire. Definitely in my rotation, definitely in Above the Rim rotation show.
Let's get it,
family, anybody that I bring on here, was definitely near and dear one of the fellas, so definitely give my boy a stream. Put that shit in your rotation. I'm telling you right now, the shit is heat. Facts. The shit is fire.
Appreciate you, bro.
Put it in rotation. My brother, appreciate you joining me, my man.
Thank you for having me, bro. I just want to say that this is one of, like I said it off mic, but this is one of the most balanced and most entertaining sports podcasts, and we need that because everything is a hot take. Everything is, you gotta be spicy with it. Just Blaze is not thirsty for the takes. He literally looks at this with care. You know what I mean? And he talks about it like regular shit. Like, I like that, bro. It's relatable. I can literally get on this, put it on, and I'll be like, I feel like I'm in a room. So I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for having me.
And you are in a room. And of course, our brother.
Doing out here.
Above the Rim for the streets.
Keep the streets to the streets is watching, bro.
No, I'm saying the streets is watching. I've always been saying that, man. The streets is definitely watching, man. And,
go get this merch, bro. Stop playing.
Oh, yo, family, go get this merch. Stop playing. You know I said get yours.
He got mugs, bro. If you need the tee, you got to put it in the tee, bro. You feel me? Get this above one of the hardest logos. I mean, go get this stuff. Stop playing.
The streets told you gonna get you. No Triple B's prices. I know we talked about Triple B. But no Triple B's prices,
for
man.
Now.
For now. The price is gonna go up in a minute, but cop that merch, family. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know, as always, go make sure you go stream Brooklyn's new singles, Loose, Sydney, all that new shit with the Ravens album coming out soon.
Yep, next year, April.
Make sure we gonna like and make sure this is the family right here. So, my brother, I appreciate you joining me, as always, man. And family, we on episode 138, man. Buckle up.
Let's do it.
Yeah.